Yes, well, of course, many people for the last few weeks have known about this. They've been able to make other modes of transport their way of getting to and from work. One of them might be the Broadmarsh bus station here in Nottingham. It's a brand new bus station, but only National Express are running from it right now. Of course, lots of people will have automatically go to those big bus companies like National Express and like some of the other smaller ones as well. National Express, of course, seeing a much higher volume of people looking for their services because of the RMT bus strikes, RMT train strikes. They've said they've seen a significant increase in both enquiries and bookings on days around the specific days of travel as well as the days of travel. They say 85%, a massive amount of their coaches are already booked up, and that while it's working to try and put on extra services, there's just simply no way that it can match the volume that the rail service does provide. So of course the advice here for people that might be looking for other modes of transport, particularly coaches and buses, they're saying get your tickets early and plan ahead where you can.
Well, thank you. Well, let's cross to Paul Hawkins, who's at London Bridge Station, where commuters have also faced a tube strike. Paul.
Yeah, look, this morning it felt like the pandemic as we walked through London Bridge Station. It didn't open until 7 o'clock. There wasn't a soul around. Then people started to, commuters started to accrue at the doors, and then they opened at 7:30. And some passengers made their way onto the few trains that were leaving the station. It certainly feels like a lot more people, as Davey was alluding to in Scotland, a lot more people are working from home. Anecdotally, it's a little bit busier on the buses, it's a little bit busier on the roads, but certainly we're not seeing huge numbers of people trying to stuff themselves onto buses, trying to take alternative modes of transport, queues in the streets, rows breaking out, the kind of thing that we used to see in strikes before in the capital. And just some data that's come through to us from TfL recently. This is up until 10 o'clock this morning. The tube journeys are 95% down compared to last Tuesday. On bus journeys, they are up 7% compared to last Tuesday. Santander Cycle Hire is up a massive 46% on yesterday. So that would seem to indicate huge drop in tube numbers, but only a little bit of an increase in buses and a big increase on bikes. So some people are taking the bike, but certainly there isn't a huge movement onto the buses. So what we're seeing, what we think we're seeing, which is a lot more people from working from home, would seem to be borne out in these statistics from the location firm TomTom. They say that congestion levels at 11 o'clock were higher than at the same time last week in several urban areas, most notably in London, up 13%, and then in Manchester, Liverpool and Cardiff, they were up only 6 to 7%. So it does seem like the working from home phenomenon, if we can call it that, is reducing the impact of the strikes. We've also spoken to Sadiq Khan this morning. We asked him about his position on the tube strike in London. Workers here are striking because TfL wants to cut 600 jobs. It wants to review the pension system. Those are the conditions attached to the bailout from central government to TfL. The mayor therefore blaming the attachment of those terms to that bailout on the government. He's saying to the unions, look, it's not my fault. He's saying to passengers, it's not my fault. It's the government have given us this money, and the terms come with that money, and there's nothing I can do about it. Also asked him about Labour's position, which is a bit muddled. Labour leader Keir Starmer telling senior Labour MPs, look, you can't go out on the picket lines. Several of them have been out on the picket lines this morning. Lisa Nandy, West Streeting, backing the strikes, but Keir Starmer saying, look, I just wish there weren't any, but not explicitly condemning or supporting rail workers. Sadiq Khan saying, look, Sir Keir Starmer's been very clear on this, and that Labour just simply don't want to see strikes, and they want everyone to carry on talking.